What's your price? Where we ask the other one how much it would take them to do what we're asking. Ben has touched on quite a few of my fears and things I don't like over the last couple of weeks. So
that's the way to kind of win this content, isn't it? To stitch up the other. This is my favourite topic, to be fair.
I know you really like making me squirm, so I don't know whether to let you go first or not. Maybe I'll just go with mine because I think I'm going to go first. Executive decision here. I'm going to go first, and I think my one is not like a feel or anything like that, but I know it's something you really enjoy.
Okay, I'll do it for free then.
You'll do it for free because I'm taking it away. Is what I'm doing.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's something you enjoy.
Oh, sorry.
Away.
Right. Okay.
So, what's your price not to talk for a whole year? And obviously, you're on a podcast. You like talking. I've been out with you. You will talk to anyone. You're one of those people that just likes talking. So, if you can talk for a year, obviously that would put the podcast on pause for a while, but forget that. But yeah, in normal everyday life and everything like that, you can't talk to your wife, your son, work, anything like that.
Do you know what? I was thinking, I think I could do it. I want to be paid handsomely, but I could easily do it. But then as soon as you went, your son, I was like, I can't speak to him. I'd be really sad.
You'd have to write notes.
Oh no, you won't understand that. They can't read. Of course I want to speak to my wife and that, but she might actually appreciate the silence.
Possibly, yeah.
But my little boy, oh man, like that's a killer one, because I kind of thought if I didn't have him, then I would probably say that could easily be done. Oh man, that's really sad.
I don't think you could easily do it.
I think I could. No, a year. I think I could. I think it would annoy me because there'd be things like going, I really want to say something, or like, I really want to speak up or, express myself. But so would I be able to sign language or write? Would I be able to communicate other ways?
Just not talk.
Okay, well then I'd probably take the time to maybe learn how to sign language.
Okay.
And then maybe have a notepad or a whiteboard pen, or just like or design a T-shirt with just a whiteboard implemented, so I could just write on it, or have like a whiteboard on my arm, so I could just like write on there.
The problem with sign language is obviously
other people to understand it.
Yeah, I think obviously there's probably very few percentage of the population that understand sign language, which is probably obviously not a good thing. But
no, but then if it's a year, I could teach the people around me certain signs so they can understand. And
you always learn the rude ones first, don't you?
Obviously you're going to haggle me down, so I'm thinking like a good yearly wage of a job. That's the kind of thing. I'm not thinking millions because I think I could do it for less than that.
What's your reasoning for a good yearly wage though? Why yearly wage?
I'm going to say 150 grand.
150 grand?
Yeah.
You ain't got to do anything. I'm taking something. You want 150 grand where you don't have to do anything. Literally, I'm taking something away so you don't have to do it anymore, and you want 150
but it's
grand
obviously
for not doing anything.
Yeah, but I won't be able to talk to my little boy. I mean, that's the killer one. So for me, I want to be compensated reasonably well.
He might be the one that wants to stump up the money.
We've only got these tipping point coins. They don't really count towards money. So
tipping point coins.
So are you accepting my 150 grand then?
No, I think that's way over the top. You just don't have to talk for a year. I'm taking something away. I'm not asking you to do anything horrible, anything extra. Any times, there's nothing more for you to do. You literally just go about your daily life and don't have to.
Make me a counter offer then. Make me a counter offer.
It's got to be like 5k. 5k for not talking for a year. That's like
no.
I've ever made.
No, that's not. No, I don't. I wouldn't feel compensated for that. I wouldn't feel that's gonna, like, at the end of the year I deserve the pay. If I receive that payment at the end, I'd be like, oh, is that it?
Is that
£5 grand? Is that it?
Yeah, for doing nothing.
Well, it is. Well, no, I am doing something. I've got to keep my mouth shut.
Your WhatsApp, just text everyone.
Yeah, but I've got to keep my mouth shut.
Well, exactly. I know that's going to be hard for you.
And also that will affect my job. So they might let me go, which means I'll need to be paid a good, and I'm not saying I'm on 150k a year. I mean, geez, it's going to be a lot more thought process and thinking, I can't speak then. And if I speak now, then I broke the contract and won't get paid at all. So
there's nothing to think about. You can't go, I can't speak then. It's you can't speak at all for a year. There's nothing you don't have to think about. Just don't.
Oh, are you saying it's under my control that I don't speak, or you actually taking my voice away that even if I open my mouth, nothing comes out?
No, you've got to control yourself.
Okay, so then there is a bit of thought process that I've got to get used to. So yeah, no, do you know what? I'm sticking to 150k.
Gosh,
It's still you offer me something else. So
40k,
no,
50,
no,
60.
meet me at 80.
What can you do? What can you do with 80 that you can't do with 50?
I mean, there's a few bikes. I mean, you don't understand how cheap the houses are out here. I mean, like you can get a house for 80 grand. I mean, that'd be cash down on a house, really, to be fair. That's how cheap the houses are. So
80k then.
I'd shake your hand at 80k.
75.
No. Do you know what? You've done this to me before. I'm going to stick to 80k.
80k. All right. So, well, I've got you down from 150 to 80k. That's quite good, but I don't think it'd be possible for you to do. Knowing you, I don't think you'd be able to do it. But anyway, we've got our price. What have you got for me, Colin? Time to make me squirm.
Well, yours is so light-hearted compared to mine, and actually mine wasn't actually made up by me. It was made up by my wife, because I was saying, what can I do this week to stitch Dave up? And she goes,
I've got Norman to thank for this then.
Yeah, and she goes, what about this? So what's your price, Dave, to swap bodies with a woman to go through 24 hours of labor, including giving birth? Now, before the pod, you'd also told me about your kidney stones, and you also told me that that's what you think giving birth probably feels like. So you might have been there in a man's world of the pain, but obviously we would never ever understand the pain what we would go through. But we've seen it. What's your price to go through 24 hours of labor? So once the 24 hours hit, the experience is over. All right, okay, all right. You can still give birth, but you won't feel it at all. Okay, all right. There'll be no repercussions of it. Labor's stopped. Okay, all right. Baby's fine. Okay, you're giving birth, but you have to experience 24 hours of labor. So all the pains, the checks, the epidurals, things maybe going up places which you don't want to be, fluids being leaked. You might not even be able to eat as well, because obviously, might have to go through certain procedures, and then you're gonna have to give birth. And who said, it could be a natural birth, it could be cesarean. I mean, these are the choices obviously a woman has to go through, obviously, in their day of torture, to be fair. So what's your price, mate?
Thanks, Norma.
80k?
Thanks, Norma.
Are we looking at 5k? 5k, Dave?
I've got. So yeah, so we were speaking just before the podcast. I can't remember how we got on the subject, but I've had kidney stones, and someone said that is worse than labour. But obviously,
did a man say that?
Well, I don't know. This is it. I don't know where that came from. So obviously, I'm guessing there must be women out there that have had kidney stones and done labour. So I'd like to hear from them. Which is worse? I don't know.
See, whatever price you give, right?
Yeah.
Any woman saying this, it could rip your head off, to be fair, because they'd be like, oh, that's too low, or that's too high. Why don't you try it for a change? So, and you could be the new Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The question, there's just one question I've got, so that will depend on my price. So when I give birth, the child I'm giving birth to, is it my child at the end of it, or am I just
what? What?
Well, no. But like you said, I'm going.
What, you're a surrogate?
Like I'm going into a woman's body am I going into a woman's body just to experience that, or am I basically giving birth to my own child type thing?
Yeah, because Norma did say, swapping bodies with your wife, and I just say, okay, we'll just say bodies with women. But yeah, now you've asked, yeah, it would be swapping bodies with your wife to go for 24 hours of labour to deliver your own child.
Do you know what? I think I would go low on that, because Hannah said, obviously, labour is painful, it's awful, and whatever. But because after when we had my son, she was like, "Oh my God, this is awful. It hurts so much," or whatever. And the midwife turned around and said, "I've had 4 kids, so it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad, obviously, if you're willing to go and do it again, because obviously
it can't be that
hurts."
Bad.
Well, no. In respect to, let me finish. In respect to that, what you have at the end of it, your own flesh and blood, and that fills you with so much happiness and joy. Obviously, you're willing to go through that pain because of what you're going to have out of it.
Yeah.
is obviously going to be your son or your daughter. So obviously, yeah, it can't be, when I say it can't be that bad, I know it's bad, but it can't be, obviously, if you got, I don't know, shot or something like that, and that's painful, you're not all going to go, it's not that bad, I'll get shot again. You haven't got anything to get out of it. Or like the kidney stone, I wouldn't want to go through that again because it hurts and I've got nothing out of it. But if I'm just giving labour, yes, I'm going to be in a lot of pain for 24 hours, but I'm going to have my child out of it, I don't think that requires too much money. I mean, I think a lot, obviously.
So what are we saying? Like a Starbucks voucher?
Maybe even do it for free. Like, I mean, it's 24 hours, but then what do you have out? What the end result is, what you have, your son or your daughter, is priceless. How can you put a price on that?
Are you trying to kiss up to your wife or something? Are you in the dog? Are you in the doghouse or something? All right, because I'm thinking money. All right,
I normally am in the dog.
I ain't going through that.
I normally am in the doghouse, but Hannah doesn't listen to the podcast as much as I've tried her to, so she's not going to hear my
today. Yeah,
she's not going to hear my answer anyway. So there's no sucking up. So
so do you know what? I'm going to slightly change then my question to you then. Just another woman, and it's not your child then, because I want a price out of you. I can't accept the freebie, but do you know what? I completely understand and I completely get that. I mean, and from like from a man's point of view, watching labor and like pregnancy and stuff like that, it's freaking horrific. It's like watching like a snuff film. It's just literally, it's like.
Do you know what? Do you know what someone
that scene out of Hostel is bad, man.
Do you know what someone? Do you know what someone said to me once? It's like Labour is like watching your favourite pub burn down.
Oh dear. Don't tell that to women, please. Some might be listening. Right, well, I need a price out of you, so let's change it slightly.
Yeah, if I'm just going to transfer a lady that's giving birth and I transfer out and I've got nothing to do with her or the child. Yeah, see, it's a lot of pain, isn't it? So again, like it's all about it's with us. It's always about compensation, isn't it? So I don't know. Oh, where do I want to be? It's like 24 hours,
including birth.
Yeah, must be really weird experiencing a lot of pain. I don't know if it's like 24 hours of full on pain. That's a lot, isn't it?
Well, I mean, just imagine your anus just being ripped open. I mean, that's obviously what's women sort of like.
That's quite graphic, mate.
Well, this
podcast is turned explicit.
Well, that's really obviously a different body hole, but that's kind of what's happening more or less, really. So
let's go. I think 200k.
That's cheap. That's pretty cheap.
It's cheap. It's a day's. If you think about that, that's a day's work. 200k for a day's work. Yes, you're in a lot of pain, but
that's not a day's work, mate. That's like breaking your body in two.
Yeah, but it's a day's work, 24 hours. If you're talking like labour for a week, they'd intervene, wouldn't they? Long before that. But yeah, 200k.
I was thinking a couple of million at least.
No, that's.
I mate, like you, been there, seen it. I wouldn't want to experience that. So all respect to women going through that, because like I said, like you said, your favourite pub being brought down, or it's like a scene out of Hostel or Saw. Do you know what I mean? It is literally one of those scenarios out of Saw. You know what I mean? Like cut your ankle off to get out the chains. It's okay. So 80k for me to not speak, but 200k for you to give birth.
Yeah, I think so. But obviously the caveat, if it was my own child, priceless, free.
That's a sweet touch.